Welcome to the State of the Market for Law Firm Sales in 7 Minutes. My name is Jeremy Poock. I lead Senior Attorney Match. In today's In 7 Minutes, we'll talk about how brand and digital value will increase personal injury firm sale values in 2023 and beyond. And I'm very excited to introduce my colleague, Chris Princis. Chris is with Consumer Attorney Marketing Group, CAMG. Chris, welcome. And could you please tell us a little about yourself and about CAMG?
Yeah, Jeremy, thanks. Good to be here and appreciate you having me on. I'll start with CAMG. We've been in PI legal marketing for a little over 13 years now, just specifically for personal injury attorneys, both mass torts, local single event, and expanding into all of those sorts of practice areas. We kind of have a unique situation because we're soup to nuts. So we do everything from creative to the media buys, all channels, to intake, to contracting, to medical records. So we understand the entire journey of a case. And that those years of experience and those years of data has really proven out well for us. And I know for your folks that are listening in, and we'll probably hit this a few times, tracking data is everything. And I'm proud of what we've put together and how we go about that. A little bit about humbly me, Chicago guy, unfortunately a Chicago Bears fan. I have been in this market with PI attorneys for a little over 10 years as well. So I know a lot of these folks, and really a great place to be.
Well, great. Thanks so much. And I just have to say about the Bears, I'm from the Boston area. We remember not so fondly when the Bears had their day with us many years ago.
Oh, you're going old school now. Yep, 85.
So let's jump right into it. When it comes to valuing law firms, there's really five components to valuing law firms post 2020, which is a matter of these five value chips of your client list, referral source list, goodwill, subject matter knowledge, and digital value. When it comes to personal injury law firms in particular, that digital value is what's propelling us into what we call law firm sales 2.0. Many law firms remain in 1.0. And in 1.0, the primary value chips are the client list and the referral source list. Well, in 2.0, the primary value chips are going to transition to digital value and brand equity. And here, Chris, really want to get your insights from CAMG's experience, your experience about how digital value and brand equity is increasing the value of personal injury law firms in 2023 and beyond.
Yeah, and Jeremy, I'd even on this. This is a great. This 2.0. This is great. I'd even suggest digital value helps all of the other points on here as well. Yeah, obviously, after the pandemic, a lot of things had changed, and it comes back down to with digital value. Tracking everything. So we offer all channels, TV, radio, the traditional channels, but with digital, people still, and we're seeing this with a lot of firms, still not tracking what's going on there, as well as not coming out of, I guess, the digital stone age. So when I say that, a lot of folks know pay-per-click, which is great. But with SEO and how to do it, that's very techy, very aggressive on being able to do that well. And SEO is very important, especially for a lot of your clients, because it adds a longer term leverage for evaluation. But that also goes then with obviously with social media, and people think that's just Facebook, and it's not now. Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok, LinkedIn, because these are things that have a value of followings. You can see how many people are following. So you can track that, and that's a data point on adding value, not only branding value, but actual people that eyeballs you have that are following these social media channels. So the 2.0 firms, I guess, to use your language, and the savvy law firms are paying attention to all of this, and not just one, but all of them, and how it ties back to the firm's goals, where they are geographically, where they want to be. Are they prepping for a sale? So it's due time, and we see this a lot with firms that many of you would know. Of course, I won't name names, but really need to pay attention to these things, including Google reviews. And I think we'll probably touch on
Yeah,
that.
let's talk about that right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people submit Google reviews on everything and anything. Their shoes, their hotels, restaurants that they go to. Heck, your Uber ride. What about attorneys? What about personal injury law attorneys? How important is it for a firm that wants to increase its value to encourage its satisfied clients to submit Google reviews?
Yeah, absolutely. We see this huge, huge mistake that firms aren't paying more attention to this because it's a Google review. Google is rewarding you for rank value on reviews, not only how many you have, but if they're done properly. So a firm, our savvy firms, and this is what we coach them, and we coach firms along with this, whether it's us or if your clients are using or your viewers are using in-house or another agency, it's got to be number one. So just for example, one of the secrets we see is that the law firms immediately start putting an already templated review to the client to say, do you mind helping us out here and giving a review on us? It's already situated, it's already templated, so we know it's clean, and we encourage that almost from the get-go from their clients. Bulk up those rankings, make sure they're done correctly, and obviously make sure they're done with the highest ranking. And then there's ways if there's folks that have maybe a bit more negative feedback for a firm on how to manage those. But
For sure.
if,
And
if
and and just to follow up on what you're saying, Chris,
yeah,
in the word of mouth era, which preceded today's digital era, right? Lawyers could depend upon getting referrals by word of mouth. Today's consumer, by and large, they're searching Google, and when they see, two Google reviews, right, as compared to 500, or there's firms that have thousands of Google reviews, where's the client really going to go? Right? Client's going to go. Yeah, please go ahead, Chris.
yeah, no, I was just going to say, Jeremy, that's exactly right. Right, the majority, I would say 95% of the folks that are calling in from, say, an ad, don't have a network of people that they can go say, hey, this happened to me, I need counsel, do you have a good lawyer? These folks are just, they had something horrific happen to them in a crash or med mal or whatever it might be. They're getting this information just from the TV, so they'll go or digital or from advertising. Their first group of people, like you say, network to check in to see if this is a good resource to help them is going to be Google reviews. So it's imperative that your Google review strategy is in check and healthy.
Absolutely. And I think as we're also seeing as this evolution of digital value continues to progress, is that we're also seeing, and I'm sure you're seeing too, firms that are developing brand equity, right? I don't think we ever really thought, even 10, 20 years ago, that could a law firm actually have brand equity. Well, if firms such as CAMG clients are deploying omni-channel digital marketing, well, they are developing brand equity in their states, regions, even nationally. So, Chris, if you could speak a little bit to the brand equity that we're starting to see among law firms in the PI space.
Yeah, I think that, going back to digital, that's invaluable. And using that brand equity then to build up your social media sites, really piggyback what's already been built in the community or wherever the lawyer is advertising. And we see this all the time. We see an attorney's he or she's got a great name in the community, has been on TV and doing traditional stuff for the last, say, 30 years. And if that's all they're doing, especially if they're not tracking it and not kind of getting into this 2.0 realm, and we're seeing this a lot. You'll have a large firm, a top spending firm, come in and just dump a ton of money into a market, and all of a sudden, all that brand equity, it's kind of like the Janet Jackson song from the '80s. What have you done for me lately? So if you're not paying attention to the value of digital and building your equity on the digital side, you make yourself vulnerable, very vulnerable.
Great. Thanks so much. So then for today's buzzer beater, in terms of how brand and digital value will increase PI sale values in 2023 and beyond, PI firms today are in what we call law firm sales 2.0, where their value chips are comprised of their client list, referral source, and their digital value and brand equity. And yes, their goodwill and subject matter knowledge as well. PI firms that are considering, how do I increase the value of my practice? Investing in digital value, investing in brand equity is what is going to get you tremendous return on investment, as we are already seeing and are going to continue to see real money paid at closings when firms can show that they have developed digital value and brand equity. So Chris, last thoughts on your part in terms of how brand and digital value will increase PI firm sale values.
Yeah, do it now, do it aggressively, do it correctly. Have a resource come in and kind of look holistically at what your firm's doing. Look at the geography of where you're doing it, which litigation, which practice areas you're going after. And then, and I cannot emphasize this enough, track every single moving part, because I think that this is probably an overused saying, half of advertising works. The most important thing is knowing the other half that doesn't work. And the only way you can optimize, recalibrate, and be efficient is knowing what isn't working. And we and whoever, I think everyone would agree, the best way to know what isn't working is to track it and make sure you make your adjustments based on that data.
Wonderful. Chris Princis from Consumer Attorney Marketing Group, thanks so much for joining. And that is today's State of the Market for Law Firm Sales, and a lot more than 7 minutes today. Thanks so much, Chris.
Thanks. Thank you.